Okay. Okay, friends, welcome to the team call for September 14th. Today I'm going to be talking about flexing your confidence and how to be like an amazing rock star. I totally stole some of this information from a training that I'm in. Erica, you might be familiar with some of it as you've been working with Kristen, but it's some good stuff to really refresh, change our mindset, because I think, like I said on the call last week, that this business is really simple and easy, but we complicate it with our own issues that we carry around in our hearts and in our heads and everything else. So if we can overcome some of the mindset stuff, the business part of it actually isn't as complicated as we make it by our own limiting beliefs. So let me share my screen. Okay, so like I said, we are talking about flexing our confidence. So I actually kind of combined this with I had heard somebody speak on confidence at a Super Saturday. I mixed this with another training that I'm in about being a rock star, because rock stars are really confident. So I kind of meshed them together. So we're going to be talking about flexing our confidence. So confidence is a muscle anyone can train. You just have to train it just like you train your muscles. And it's kind of one of those things that you don't develop your confidence till you can't just sit there and be like, okay, well, when I feel confident, I'm going to share my transformation. And when I feel confident, I'm going to go live on Facebook. And when I feel confident, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. You kind of just have to do it and build your confidence along the way. You have to train that muscle along the way. You can't just wait for this magic of confidence to just show up. You just have to act as if you're confident all along, and you'll start to feel more and more confident. It's kind of that self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you do the things that you need confidence for, the more confidence you will have. You just kind of have to get over yourself a little bit, which is kind of what I'm going to be talking about today. So I have some 3 tips, short tips on how to flex your confidence and find your inner rock star. Okay, so tip number 1. If you are a rock star, you are too busy living life to be worrying about what other people think. And in the training that I'm in, this particular mentor mentioned Adam Levine, however you pronounce his name. And he said, do you think Adam Levine cares at all that you don't like his shirt, or you don't like his newest song, or you don't like where he went to dinner or who he's dating? No. Rock stars don't give enough. They don't. They do not care. They are too busy living their life to worry about what other people think, what other people's opinions are of the things that they're doing, because they're a rock star. Why would they care what some fan in Illinois cares about what he's doing, or what some other person cared about what they were doing? They are living their life just as they are, with confidence in what they're doing. They don't give a F. I don't want to use that word here, but they don't care. They live their life no matter what. So why do we spend so much time thinking about what others are thinking about? Why do we spend so much time thinking about what others are thinking about us? Why do we think, I wonder if I post this, what will my family think? What will my friends from high school think? Or what if I share this? What will they think? Dixie. Why do we spend so much time thinking about other people? Because you know what? Chances are most people aren't thinking about you. And do you know why? Because they're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about what other people are thinking about them. So we spend so much time and effort thinking about these other people, thinking about what we're doing, that we just don't do. We let that hold us back. So ask yourself, if you do have some haters, because you're going to have haters along the way with this journey, you just really naturally are. You're going to have family members that might think you're crazy, people who have been in a network marketing business before and failed, so they hate on it. You're going to have friends that think you're crazy. You're going to have haters, but do the people that are hating on you actually really matter? Do their opinions really matter? If they're not excited about what you're doing, they're not your people. And it just goes with, you have to have confidence and you have to develop a little bit of thick skin. And both of those things, get developed. You have to train it like a muscle. Because of course, the first time you get a hater that maybe will start messaging you something and think you just want a sale, or think that you're just after, their money, it stings a little bit. Or the first time you get unfriended, or the first time you get blocked on Facebook. It happens. And here's what the truth is. Most of the time, the people that are hating on you don't necessarily hate you, but something that you're sharing strikes a chord in them that they're not ready to hear or change or do something about. So instead of listening to that feeling that they're getting in their heart, that conviction, instead of listening to that conviction to maybe make changes, especially with health, because we're doing something with our health. And when we start to make our changes in our health, you get those people who are super supportive of you, and it inspires them to do something else. And then there's those people who just completely hate on you because you are a mirror to them. You are holding up a mirror saying, hey, I'm doing this with my life. And when they see what you're doing, they naturally innerly reflect on what they're doing. And if they're uncomfortable with where they're at, and they might feel, gosh, Erica's making these great changes and she's getting results, I kind of think that I need to make some changes too. But maybe they're not ready emotionally. There might be something holding them back. So instead of using that inspiration that you're giving them, they hate back. So they don't really hate you. They hate something in themselves. And it's easier for them to throw the hate back at you, to deflect, than to actually make those changes. So you really have to come to the decision and the realization that if you're sharing your story and you're sharing your journey and there's people blocking you or unfriending you and you're just genuinely trying to help people, those aren't your people. Don't go chasing after those people. Don't try to win over the haters in your life. I'm going to say this, you're not the jackass whisperer, because no matter what you say, some people just can never change their mindset because they're just not ready emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever the reason might be. Focus your time and energy on the people who are your people. Real friends cheer you on. I have many friends in my life who are very supportive of my business. Now, does that mean that they're my customers or coaches on my team? Maybe not, but they love me and know me and support me, that they want to see me succeed. And those are your people. That's what you really have to focus on. So don't spend your time chasing after the people and winning over the opinions of people in your life who don't like what you're doing. Focus your energy on the people who are your people. The next thing about rock stars share their life like everyone wants to see it. Why do you think people care what the Kardashians do? Because, I mean, they share stuff that seems absolutely mundane and stupid, yet everybody wants to see it. Basically, their TV show is about nothing. It's about their life. And you have to think about that mentality. I'm doing something today, every single day, that other people are going to find interesting. Because honestly, social media, it's all about getting that inner look into somebody's lives. Because I think all of us are intrinsically a tiny bit nosy. So if we can get a glimpse into other people's lives, it's kind of interesting. I mean, why do we spend so much time on social media? Because we're curious and we want to see what's going on. So you have to have that mindset. Well, I just took a selfie yesterday. Nobody wants to see my face again. Do you think that, I can't even think of some other rock star besides Adam Levine. He's the one I always go back to. You think he is thinking that nobody wants to see his face again today? Absolutely not. He is thinking every single day, everybody wants to see me. Everybody wants to see what I have going on in my life. Nothing is mundane to him. So nothing is mundane in your life. You have to have that mentality and that confidence that walking my kids to school is interesting and hanging out with my team is interesting and doing this and this and this is interesting because you're sharing your life. Okay, tip number 2. Rock stars live like they're on top of the world even when they're not. Success is an attitude and a mindset. It really is. You have to have that mindset of success even when life isn't always perfect. And I think I'm the perfect example of trying to live your life even when you're not on top of the world, because the last, 9-10 months of my life has been anything but stellar. But you still have to think like you're on top of the world. You have to still have that mindset that your life is still interesting and you still have value to add to others. So life is going to get hard. Are you letting the hard get in the way of your business? And we talked about this a lot last week on the tips that I gave were why people fail at this business. If you didn't catch the call, I totally just posted the recording. But life is going to get in the way and life is going to get hard. That doesn't mean we be fake, and it doesn't pretend life is always sunshine and roses. So when I say that you need to still share your life and rock stars still feel like they still share their life even when things are hard, I don't mean to be fake. I never, ever want to tell you to show up every day and be fake. It's very, very, very real. Life is hard. It is okay to share the hard stuff in your life, but it's sharing the hard stuff in your life in a way that still can inspire and motivate people. You have to be consistent, courageous, but have boundaries too. So for me personally, everybody knows that I'm going through a divorce because I've told the team I'm going through a divorce. Now, my social media following, they know, and for the last 6 months, I've been sharing that I've been going through a transition and things are hard in my life, but I've never ever once mentioned the word divorce. I haven't mentioned my spouse's name. I haven't done any of that because I wanted to have boundaries out of respect for him and out of respect for my own personal family. So it's okay to leave some stories untold to protect you or others that are involved. So just hear me out. I'm not saying you need to air all of your dirty laundry tomorrow, but you have to remember that your story of overcoming something is inspiring to other people because someone out there is going through something just like you, and they need to know that they're going to make it. And if you're sharing your journey and you're sharing how, hey, it's completely okay to get on social media and say sometimes, life is hard and I'm struggling, but I know that this is going to happen. If I keep going, I'm going to be okay. It's okay to get up and say, hey, I haven't felt like doing my workout all week. Life has been really tough behind the scenes, but I know if I don't get it done today, I'm not going to want to do it tomorrow, so I'm going to do it today no matter how I feel. You have to share that stuff because people feel the same way you do, but they're afraid to say it. So in hard times, I love this quote, in hard times, you must decide to be a positive light, even when you feel like you're in the darkness. And so when I'm at my hardest moments, when I'm in those moments where I know I need to share something on my heart, but I have nothing good to say, I kind of have like an out-of-body experience when I'm posting, and I write my posts in a way, like I pretend like I'm writing them to myself. I'm writing my posts in a way that is something that I need to hear. I might not always feel it, but I know that I need to hear it, and I know if I need to hear it, somebody else needs to hear it too. So I usually will take that mindset where I can like take myself out of my situation and almost be above and just write what I know I need to hear. And because if I need to hear it, somebody else needs to hear it. Because listen, friends, you're going to face something that's going to be really hard in your business. And if you let your business just end and you stop posting and you don't share and you just clam up and you think, okay, well, this is hard. I'll just catch back up in 3 months, 2 months, 3 weeks, however long it is. It's that much harder to build your momentum again. And people are wondering where you went because you've been consistently posting along the way. It's okay to share the hard stuff. Okay. And here's again, people are more inspired by how you overcome your struggles than just all the successes that you have. Honestly, I can't tell you how much I've had people reach out to me in the last 6 months because I've been sharing my struggles, because people can relate to struggles more than they can relate to successes. Because a lot of times somebody is facing something in their life that's really, really hard and they feel alone. So the more you share your struggles, the more real, open, and honest you are, the more you will inspire people and really, truly connect with people. Okay, if you are a rock star, there is no need to be a cover band. So we've all been, what's a cover band? A cover band is a band who basically imitates another band. They play all the songs from another band. They try to sound exactly like the other band. And so say you had a cover band and they were a Aerosmith cover band, and they played all of Aerosmith's songs, and everybody was singing along to the Aerosmith songs, and then they played one song that was different. Most of those people aren't going to like that song because they're trying to listen to the cover band. But it's different when you are running a business. You don't want to be the cover band to Melanie Mitro. You don't want to be the cover band to me or Kristen Jones or Tara Carr. You want to be your own person with your own story, and there's no need to try and copy and emulate somebody else because the cover band is never as good as the real thing. So you have to learn to become your own true real thing. So don't copy, be you. It's okay to take inspiration from other coaches, and it's okay to see what other people are doing to kind of formulate your own ideas. But please, please, please don't ever take somebody else's words and just copy and paste them into your page, into your newsfeed with a photo because you don't have anything else to say. It's not going to connect with your following because it's not going to sound like you. You've got to learn to find your own voice, and that takes practice. And the only way that you'll flex that confidence and get that practice is by simply doing it, which means you're going to write posts that maybe don't go over well, and you're going to make some mistakes, but it's in that you really find who you are and what your following likes as well. Because what I post might not speak to your following because it's not your voice and it's not who your following is. So you cannot just be a cover band to some other coach. You can't just take what they're doing because you see, oh, well, Melanie Mitchell got like 30 likes, or 400 likes on this post. I'll just take this post and make it my own. It won't work because her audience is different. She's developed an audience over a longer period of time. So what works for her audience doesn't work for her audience. You have to start with what you have and be you. You and your story have value and worth that others need to hear and see. And you truly have to believe that every single day. You have to get up every single day with that confidence that what you have to say, what you can share with others is valuable and they need to hear it. So again, share your ups and downs. Be real, be vulnerable, be you. In your mess, there is a message. And share what you need to hear most. Like I said, you have to share what you need to hear most because if you need to hear it, chances are your audience needs to hear it as well. Most people feel alone. Share with the hope your story will touch one person. So I always say, what I'm going through, if one person out of all my 2,000 plus Facebook fans, if one person reads this and feels better or get something from this story, that is worth it to me. Think about that one person. Don't get trapped in that I didn't get very many likes or I didn't get very good traction. Remember, there's people out there who are watching what you're doing all along the way, and they might not necessarily be liking or commenting, but they are watching. So don't forget that. Don't get caught up in thinking your posts aren't going well because you're not getting 100 likes every single time. People are curious and they're just waiting to see what you're going to do. They're building the trust with you through your posts. So you have to be consistent and courageous. Oh, that's the end of my slides. Okay. Hi. Okay. So does anybody have any questions? Look, we have a small group today. Does anybody have any questions about being a rock star? Carl, you're in the same training as me, so this is probably repeat information. But does anybody have anything to share, questions to ask, or something that you've noticed has worked really well with your own following? Yes, no? No? Erica, you were so talkative the other day. I'm going to call you out, girl.
I will say that usually like your coach post, your coach opportunity post, like those terrify me. But I think they terrify me because I literally speak from my heart and I have to think about it all day. I can't just take 5 minutes and whip something up because that's not who I am. And I'm okay with that. Like my last one, I got over 50 likes, and statistically, like those are usually like your least like posts, but my last one, like people were blowing it up, and I always think way too much about what other people think about me. So I'm really, really trying to rise above that because it shouldn't matter, and I know that. It's just
it's that muscle. You know how you have to kind of relate it to your own fitness journey. Like when we first start working out, like the first time we do a workout, we feel so sore right afterwards. It almost feels miserable to do it again. But the more we do it, the better we get at it and the least sore we get. So you just have to kind of flex that muscle and just keep practicing and realize that, I've had so many people, because I've been doing this for over 3 years, like actively building a business for over 3 years. And I've like literally had people reach out to me. So they send the first message because they're like, hey girl, I want to start whatever you're doing, blah, 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 blah. And so you have those conversations back and forth, and then they completely fall off the face of the earth. And so you reach back out and you follow up, because that's what we do, is we follow up. And then out of nowhere, they block you. And you're like, wait, like you reached out to me. Like, why did you block me? And I used to take that so personal because I'm like, what did I do wrong? Well, I didn't do anything wrong. They just weren't ready. And so it was easier, and because they knew I would probably consistently follow up or maybe call them out on their BS, or maybe I was triggering something that they weren't ready to step forward with. And so it's not me. I didn't do anything wrong. It's all them. Because remember, don't you remember how hard it was to start? I mean, Erica, how long did it take you to start? You were probably thinking, watching, pondering, going back and forth, because that first step is the hardest step, right?
It definitely was, and especially for me because I used my Crohn's as a crutch. So that right there told me, oh, it's not going to work. I can't eat healthy. I can't exercise. So I had built up this wall of excuses. And luckily, you know, Becca, we were friends first. So I think that made it, you know, I wasn't just going to block her because she was a friend. But I was already watching what she was doing. And I was so tired of being miserable. And at that point, I had nothing else to lose. And I think that's how it is for a lot of people. You know, they wait and they yo-yo up and down and they try all these other things until there's literally nothing left to lose. Then they jump up.
And so here's the thing. Okay, so of the four of you that are here, how many of you still struggle with limiting beliefs occasionally? I know I do. And how many of you are regularly doing personal development? So we are struggling with limiting beliefs still, and we're doing personal development that helps our limiting beliefs. Can you imagine the regular person out there who isn't doing anything to change their mindset, how much their limiting beliefs are holding them back? So now can you understand when somebody blocks you, it's not really you, it's them. Or if somebody falls off the face of the earth because you've reached out to them and they have told you they want to make a change, and then they get scared and they move away. And I just want you to realize that it's not you. It really isn't you. And it's so easy to take those things to heart because we want to help people. We are naturally here to help people, but we have to remember, we have to help people who meet us halfway. We can't pull them to where we are. They have to, I mean, I can only go so far, but if somebody's not willing to meet me, no matter how far I go, like you said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And you have to remember that. As much as you try to help and do that, and those people are still going to be there. So just remember, those haters, those people who you're thinking about when you're posting or wondering what kind of reaction that they're going to have, that doesn't matter. You just have to do it anyways, because there's somebody out there. There's an Erica out there who needs my help. There's a Carl out there who's watching. You have to think about that. Remember where you were watching, and you have to still just do it for that one person. Don't think of your whole Facebook audience. Think that you're speaking to one person every time you post. And that kind of takes the expectation off, because you're like, well, one person likes that. I did my job. Any other questions or anything? Carl?
Yeah, I was thinking about this as you were sharing, and there's another type of person I just wanted to point out that's out there too that we probably run into, and I've run into a few times, especially over the last couple months, and that is a type of person that's sort of like me. One of my problems has never been making up my mind. I've always been one to jump at things. I mean, I'll try any new thing that there is out there. I've always been like that. My problem has always been staying with it, staying consistent. And so I've had a number of those situations with new challengers, new coaches, is that, you know, they'll jump on board with me, but within 2 or 3 months they fizzle out, and there's nothing, and then I take responsibility for it and get frustrated because I keep thinking, what in the heck did I do wrong in the process? But what I've got to remember is I probably didn't do anything wrong. It's just part of the game. It's part of the struggle. There are people that are always going to be out there that are going to be fast starters, but not finishers. They're going to give up when the going gets tough.
Well, and it's true. I used to post in my challenge group, like one of the first days, I think it was actually day 1, I had a graphic that I posted that said 80% of people who start this don't finish. are you going to be in the 20% that succeed? And that's kind of a humbling thing, because you have to remember that 80% of the people that you work with probably aren't going to stick with it. And that's hard, because I know I personally, and I'm wondering if you feel like this, Carl, I personally took responsibility that somebody invested in me and I gave them my word that I would help them. And it made me feel a little bit guilty that somehow I had failed them because they didn't succeed. But I have to remember, people have their own, they have to have their own, they have to do it too. I can't do it for them. I mean, I had people leave. I had a girl who was a customer of mine that I had helped and like bent over backwards for a really long time, and she continued to yo-yo back and forth. She had like 150 pounds to lose, and she'd lose 40 and then she'd gain 50 back. And then so eventually she switched coaches to somebody else, because she's like, well, I need somebody who is willing to like make me a grocery list and make me a detailed meal plan and do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, if I have to do that for you, like how are you ever going to have success? Like, I can't do that for you. You have to do that for yourself. And so she just continued to coach hop, trying to find somebody who would do that. And she didn't, hold on. She, but then I'm like, what coach is out there trying to do everything? Somebody who's just trying to probably, I don't know. It just seemed kind of ludicrous to me. Cause I'm like, Carl, if I'm going to pave the way for your business, how will you ever have success if I'm enabling you and by not teaching you how to do anything? You have to do it.
That's right. And that's the word that I was actually thinking of, is that if we're enabling people and they're becoming codependent on us if we're doing everything for them. And that's unfortunate, but and that's what I've been telling my new challengers, my new people that are purchasing challenge packs. I let them know up front that, hey, I'm here to help you, but you got to do the work. I can't do the work for you. I'm pretty frank with them up front now. So.
And I've even had at some points when I've been coaching coaches and challengers where I'm like, you know what? Because I know I'll check in however much they need to check in, but sometimes I'll take challengers and I'm like, okay, you need to check in with me in 3 days and have that personal. It's okay to tell your challengers to check in with you, or your customers to check in with you, or your coaches, because they need to have that personal accountability too. If I'm always the one reaching out, checking in, like, they need to be able to be like, hey, I'm here and I'm rocking it. This is what I'm doing. Or I just want to share this success with you, or this struggle. But it has to be a reciprocal relationship. And if you're going to have to go miles for people and they're not willing to go 6 inches, are they really, what happens if, you stop checking in every day? Are they going to fail? Like, that's not the kind of people I want, especially on my team of coaches. You want go-getters and people who are willing to be proactive and resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have anything else to add? We have just a couple minutes.
I did want to say that I had a challenger. She only bought BOD. She didn't want to try Shakeology. She thought it was too expensive. And at the time, like, I didn't push it because, I was too scared. She ended up canceling her BOD, and she told me it just doesn't work. Well, at that point, I had already lost like 80 pounds. So, then I was like coming back at her. And I was like, of course I was nice, and I was like, that's totally up to you, but I am proof that it works. Like, you have to do the work.
It works if you work it.
Exactly. And, then the other excuses started coming up. So I was just like, there's always a bottom line, no matter how many excuses they throw at you. And I think that's why I worked so long on myself, because you can't give me an excuse that I haven't used or that I can't help you overcome. And it does go back to the whole fear thing. Like, they're just scared. Like, these free challenges are one thing. Like, you get, challengers all the time because it's free, because they're not investing in anything. So, and then it's like they fall off the face of the earth.
Well, and here's another thing. And I know some of you, are slowly building teams and stuff. It's okay to let your challengers and your team know that, hey, I'm going to talk to you when you're meeting me halfway in effort. So, like, if you have a team, Carl, you're a diamond coach. and you have a coach that's inactive but wants your help constantly with their business. Well, you know what? Get your account active and then we'll talk.
Good point.
You know, why should you spend time investing in somebody who doesn't even have the wherewithal to keep their account active? Like, you need to be active at least. And then as they build their business more, hey, you need to be hitting, then you have a coach that's been with you for 6 months and it's the same story over and over again. And you want to be like, okay, well, when you hit Success Club, we'll set up our next call. And it's okay to set those requirements, because if not, people are going to take and take and take and take and take and take. And it's okay to be like, you know, I'm focusing my energy. My time is limited to only so much. It's okay to tell people, no, this isn't working for me. When you're ready to meet me here or do X, Y, Z first, cool, let's do it.
Well, see, and I haven't hit Success Club yet, but I'm
Nope,
going.
you're going to.
Yes. And that's really hard for me, because like by the time I get to the end of the month and then I'm stressing, you know, then there's so many thoughts going through my head because I don't want it to be all about money. But I feel like I let myself down. Like, why is it so hard to find those 3 people?
It's hard. It's so hard. It's so funny because I've been hustling, and like the last couple of months it's come down to like the very wire. And my dad just the other day was like, Ashley, he's like, why do you wait till the end of the month to do this? And I'm like, I don't. I work all month long.
Like, you're pulling out all the stops. Like,
and I'm like, but you don't understand it. I've talked to like everybody I know, and they've either been my customer, have told me no like 5 times, or they're not interested. Like, I don't know. But either way, I know it's late where some of you guys are. Next week, we have a special guest on our team call, so make sure you come back. I'll reveal that later. And I can't wait we need to get some more people on our calls. I'm like, where's the rest of the knockouts? Like, there's like 1,000 people in that group. Where are our people? I don't know.
We were here, though.
I know, that's what matters.
True. We're here.
True. Out of small things, great things happen, or something cheesy like that. Okay, well, I got to get my kids to bed, but thanks for hopping on, and I will post this recording so you can be telling people you missed an awesome call. We just chatted and had a powwow together. Look at my dog. She's so funny. Anybody want a wiener dog? Because I'm trying to get rid of her. For real. She's a stinker. Oh, look, there's a kid right here. There's kids all over the place. Building my business. Okay, good night, friends. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye.